Hello everyone and welcome back to another video by Jaja Nails. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a Q&A as well as a swatching video of this new set of jelly gels that I found off of AliExpress that I'm super excited to try out. But before anything else, if you guys are looking for more nail tutorials, then hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video up to my channel. So let's get into this, guys, because we have a whole bunch of different questions that I was asked. I kind of compiled all the commonly asked ones into one space, so it's not just very repetitive and boring. But this set I found before we do anything else is from AliExpress, as I mentioned before. I'll put a link down below. It's actually really cute. After everything was said and done, I love the set. They were not as pigmented, like certain colors were not as pigmented as I would have liked, but they work in a pinch and they're exactly what I needed to make my tortoiseshell nails, which I'll be doing very soon, a video for that, and they just turned out so cute. So yes, this is what we're doing today. So let's get started. So the very first question that I have here is, how did you get into nails? I started nails when I was 15 years old because I was actually homeschooled for most of my life. My mom's hairdresser's sister, which is such like a weird connection, like how did that happen? She was coming from another country, and I can't remember if it was Germany or where it was, but they were this company called Astonishing Nails, and they were a really nice company. They taught primarily just gel products, but they did have acrylic as well. I just learned gel because that was what I was interested in, and it was a really nice product. I didn't mind it back then. Keep in mind, the product wasn't as good. Gel wasn't as good as it is now, and they did the thing. They did their thing, and it was a really fun experience. I really enjoyed it, and I decided not to continue with it afterwards, like when I got a little bit older than 15, just because back then you just really couldn't make money in nails, not the way you can now. Like, nail art wasn't as much of a thing. It was just really primarily all pinks and whites, and it was just kind of very boring. Like, don't get me wrong, I love me a good French, but like, if that's all you do 24/7 all the time, it gets very, very boring very quickly. But I got back into it again, kind of into my early 20s, my late teens, when I started really watching a lot of YouTube tutorials. There was so many tutorials with so many amazing teachers. I love Susie from Nail Career Education. She's amazing. And I'm actually in one of her lives. Low-key brag, don't even care. I was so hyped. I was so hyped about this. But she got me so inspired to kind of keep going and try out some nail art, because nail art is what I was super passionate about and what I wanted to continue doing. So that's what worked out for me. So yeah, that's how I got back into nails. So the next question is, why press-ons? So a lot of you may know that I have a website, jajanails.com, where I sell pre-made press-ons that I have designed and hand-painted myself, or stamped or foiled or whatever I have done to them. And I love them because I'm a very fickle person. I don't want to have the same nails for longer than a week. My fingers start to itch and I'm like, I need to change the design right now. Like, I'm so weird about it. And I was finding that I was just doing too much. Like, my fingers were cramping because of how long I'd be holding the file. Like, I'd be sitting there like working on my nails for hours, and it just wasn't a very good way of doing it. So I was like, you know what, like, let's do this on tips, and I can just switch them out when I need to, and it's just a very convenient way of doing it. In this video, my nails are atrociously naked, and I hate it, but I do need to give my nails just a bit of a break sometimes, just to kind of, get some loving and some strengthener on there. But, keep in mind that if you're removing your nails properly, your nail health should not be affected. It shouldn't be, like, it just generally. And especially if you are applying them properly, there shouldn't be any, improper things growing inside, because, especially if there's gaps or holes because of glue, improper glue application, then that can get kind of grody. But, if you follow the proper steps, then you're golden. So press-ons are great because A, switching out, B, if you want a bit of a less expensive option, you can rewear the same set if you remove it properly over and over and over again, and I love that about them. And also, if you're in a pinch and you need to pop something on and go because you can't necessarily get into the nail salon, or because you're the kind of girl who is not allowed to wear crazy nails at work, but you want to wear crazy nails out and about, then press-ons are a fantastic option for you. But yeah, moving on. Nails at home. Help. Sad face. I love this question. That's a very broad topic. There's so many different things you can get into. I could rant about this for hours, but essentially it kind of just comes down to a couple things. A, what is your budget? B, what is your time and patience? And C, what is your skill set? So A, budget. There's a lot of things with that. If you want to do more like affordable, then I would say stick to nail polish. You're gonna have a lot, less time with the finished result. It's not gonna last as long. However, it's a very, very cheap and affordable option to do. You can watch some really great nail polish application videos to get a really perfect, finished result. But otherwise, I would suggest doing gel polish, which is kind of the next step up. But keep in mind that as you go more into things, as you start adding more nail art, more fancy aspects of it, it's going to get more and more and more expensive because things add up very, very quickly. Trust me, as someone who is addicted to buying things off of like AliExpress and getting all the nail art stuff in the world, I know this because my room is it's all nail art everywhere all the time. So yes, figure out what your budget is. Also, like, what is your patience? Are you going to be willing to sit there to do your nails for hours? Is that a therapy thing for you? Is that something that you can't stand to do because you need to have your nails done in like 5 seconds? If that's the case, buy press-ons. Buy pre-made press-ons. There's some amazing stores you can buy them from. Stick to that in comparison to trying to do your own nails. But you have the time and patience, and if you're quarantined, because things have shut down again, then that is a fantastic time to learn. I started doing press-ons before the pandemic even started. I did it a long time ago, and it's just something that I really stuck with and I really, really enjoyed. So, if that's something that you want to look into as well, that's a great option to do. I'll have a course like that's going to be coming out soon. Kind of going over all the business side of things, but there's so many nail art tutorials you can go onto YouTube for and learn about on your own time and just practice. That's what it comes down to. Going into more things like extensions, like acrylic and gel and like dip powder. Dip powder is a really great way to do nails at home, but gel and acrylic take a lot more time and effort to learn and do properly. But yeah, moving on. So, next question is, how do I get started in dip powder? Start off with starter set. Basic thing. Start off with starter set. There's some amazing sets you can get out there. Rebel Nail is a company that I highly recommend because it is a company that I work with on the regular. Not sponsored, by the way. Please sponsor me, Rebel Nail, please. I just love their product. They're just great. They have so many colors, but if you're looking for something nice and simple, I also sell some of my own dip powder creations on my website, and I just love mixing. I make my own colors, I make my own sets, so if that's something that you're interested in, check out jawjawnails.com and I've got you covered. But yes, dip powder is really easy to get into. If you want the strength of acrylic and you want the ease of at-home application, then it is a fantastic way of going about doing your nails. It's not that hard to learn. It takes a few tips and tricks, but once you got it down, it's so quick and easy. I just love it. Next question. Is it expensive to do gel nails? If you're talking about gel polish, no, because all you need is a light and then the polish and then a top coat, and that's it. Like, base coat, if you're feeling super ambitious, because I'm doing press-on nails, I don't usually do base coat. I don't really need to because of my other preparation that I do for it. But if you're doing your own, then I would suggest doing both a base and a top. So, if you have your little starter kit that you can get from Amazon or AliExpress, then hey, why not? It's a really good way of doing it. But if you're talking about like gel extensions, like the actual like hard gel or poly gel or whatever, it does get a bit more complicated. There's a lot more technique and skill involved in it, but it is possible to learn and teach yourself how to do it at home. As long as you have the time and the energy and, the patience for it, then it is a really worthwhile thing to do because you save a lot of money from going to the salons. It just depends, because if it's a therapy thing for you, go to the salon, girl. Get your nails did, take a break, let someone pamper you. I think it's totally worth it. But, you know, doing it at home can also be a pampering session because you're learning a new technique and it's a creative hobby, and I think it's worth it. The last question that I have here is it worth it to buy cheap nail stuff from Amazon? It depends on what you're talking about. So you see like those very basic sets on Amazon of like the acrylic sets or whatever. Mia Secrets is a great brand. That's a really nice, like, very cheap thing to start off with. I think that's a good one, but those really, like, no name, no brand, whatever, stay away from those. If you want it for the nail art stuff, great, but the acrylic stuff is questionable at best. I really wouldn't suggest it. You can go to, like, your local Sally's and get some really cute starter sets. From there, like Beauty Secrets or whatever it is, just to play around with until you want to get to the more expensive stuff. But I really, really, really wouldn't recommend getting like the no name whatever ones. It's just not worth it. It's just not, because I don't know what chemicals are in it, and it doesn't perform the way you want it to. And the brushes are so cheap that they just fall apart in your hands. They literally disintegrate as you're holding them. So it's just not really worth it in my eyes. But nail art stuff, specific brands, so like Amazon, if you're in the US, Beetles is a great brand, Born Pretty for both US and Canada, and then in Canada there's also like Metacross and a few other ones too. I'm blanking on the names right now, I'll link them below, but there's a few different things you can get, and AliExpress is such a good choice. There's options for both. If you're willing to wait but pay less than AliExpress, but if you're wanting to get it like sooner but pay more, Amazon. Both are great options, but you kind of have your give and take with both choices of shopping. But yeah, so that's everything for today's video. I wanted to just kind of go over a couple things because these are things that are super commonly asked, and when you ask, I shall answer. If you guys have any future videos that you're looking to see, then I am so happy to help you out and show you a few things. And in the meantime, you know, toodles. Take care. Goodbye. Bye, guys.